think, believe me, these niggas died of me. Look what I'm becoming. That I did, it made a man of me. All the that I did, I swear my mother.
What it do, YouTube? It's Ty Fetty with the Fetty. Back at y'all another video, man. Y'all know why we here. To handle business. But before we handle that business, man, I want to give a big shout out to Neglectful. I appreciate you. You know I'm going to keep going for you. You know I ain't going to stop, man. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Michael, bro. I appreciate you. You know I'm going to keep going. And you know I ain't going to stop, man. If you ever want to leave a donation, Cash App is in the description, bro. My PayPal is in the description. You can also leave a super thanks. I appreciate everybody who appreciates me. And I'm going to keep going for y'all. Y'all know this. Before the video start, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, bro. I'm going to say it again. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to say it one more. Matter of fact, like, comment, subscribe. Fuck, I'll beat you up. Y'all know what's going on, man. Today we got the Vultures versus the Bleedas, man. It's a Baton Rouge. It's crazy. We about to see how crazy Baton Rouge get. Let's get it.
Welcome back to another episode of Swamp Stories. You heard me? Before we get into it,
make sure you heard me. Shout out Swamp Stories too, man.
And also follow the Instagram page as well. So let's get into it.
And this is a thing, like, for everybody saying that information is wrong, information is, I don't know the information. Like I say, bro, I'm watching it just like y'all watching it. I don't know. I'm not from Baton Rouge, so I cannot speak on Baton Rouge. I'm reacting to what the information is, what he's saying. Feel me? I don't know about Baton Rouge. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm reacting to the video that he put out. You feel me? And it gets hundreds of thousands of views, so I'm assuming it's somewhat correct, bro. Don't beat me up, bro. I'm just a messenger, bro. I love y'all. Let's get it.
So far, I've covered Boosie versus Baton Rouge and NBA versus TBG. And to the mainstream world, these have been the two biggest rivalries in the state of Louisiana. But what if I told you there's something much, much bigger?
Shout out True Bleedas, man. Rest in peace.
So big that everyone was forced to take a side. But in order for this video to make sense, let me do my best to paint the picture.
Video of True Bleedas will be right
you can truly understand
right
the
now.
vibe. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This city is pretty much an overgrown country town. Most American cities are set up the same way. They have a large downtown where there are lots of tall buildings and businesses everywhere. Then you have your upscale neighborhoods, a couple rough areas, and surrounding suburbs. They have everything that's essential to a city feel: walkable streets, public transportation, and dense population. Well, Baton Rouge has none of this. Instead, it's literally just an overgrown country town, like I said before. Originally, the city was just another poor town along the Mississippi River. And because of that, the only city-like thing is a 2-block downtown that has nothing going on. Then outside the downtown area, it's either poor or suburban. There's no in between. Here's how it works. The general rule of thumb is that anything south of Florida Boulevard is suburban. That means endless cul-de-sacs, identical brick houses, and man-made ponds. Now, there are a couple of exceptions, so don't go crazy in the comments. The first exception is the top of South Baton Rouge, where Fredo Bang and Kevin Gates are from. And then you have the bottom, where Lil Boosie is from. Then you also have one street called Gardere Lane. That may seem like a lot, given you know how crazy those rivalries are. However, this entire area makes up less than 10% of Baton Rouge's crime. And that means that the rest of the 90% all occurs above Florida Boulevard. So let me break it down. The entire north of Baton Rouge is falling apart. Unlike many cities where luxury apartments get built in the hood, North Baton Rouge has none of that going on. In fact, there are abandoned houses on every block. The only businesses you'll see are Circle K gas stations, McDonald's, Popeyes, Domino's, and Dollar Generals. So you may be wondering how things got this way.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. If y'all ever go to a city, bro, or like even like pass through a town on the way to somewhere, and all you see is like, well, I didn't live down south, and I didn't live, you feel me, out like Midwest, so I know about Circle K. But if all they got is like a Circle K or like a 7-Eleven, a Dollar General, a Walmart, and McDonald's, you know, it either get unchy or it ain't nothing there. Facts. I've been in a couple of them places where it's literally that Circle K, a McDonald's, and a Walmart, and a Dollar General, bro. And I don't want to go back. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. No cap.
And actually, there's a simple answer. Unlike Detroit or South Central LA, North Baton Rouge never had money and the land was never valuable. And that's for one unfortunate reason. There's a massive chemical refinery that pollutes and stinks up the entire North Baton Rouge area. The refineries cover 4.3 miles of land. That's more than half the size of San Francisco. Well, because of all the burning chemicals and plastics, the area is known as Cancer Alley. There are elevated levels of disease in North Baton Rouge, and that's a huge reason for the economic struggle. Well, not only is the area unhealthy to live in, but it's also incredibly dangerous. The entire North Baton Rouge is divided, and unfortunately, it's only getting worse. But before we get into it, let me run the intro.
That joint get me every time. You get the jigging with that. Y'all gotta jig with it. Jig with that.
North Baton Rouge is a wild environment. Many of the residents grow up in circumstances that are hard to fathom for people from more upscale cities. Sure, yes, everywhere has their hoods, like we discovered in the San Diego video. But this is just a completely different level. The people here will look at the worst parts of California and think, wow, that looks amazing. But it's not only the poverty, it's also the way the residents have to live. It's the kind of place where laying low is nearly impossible. Everyone knows everyone and there's really nothing to do, especially for kids. And this leads to all kind of unwarranted conflicts that end up starting non-stop rivalries, with many of these rivalries being former friends turned enemies. Well, the area is pretty large and has various different sections. Since the 1980s, there's been a rivalry between Bankstown and Zion City. These are probably the two worst sections in Baton Rouge, located just across Highway 110. However, unlike LA or Chicago, Baton Rouge rivalries don't carry over generations, meaning that a kid growing up in Zion City can be friends with kids in Bankstown regardless of what the older generation has going on.
But you know how that goes, bro. Most, like 8 times out of 10, they gonna fall out off the strength of they older people beefing, bro. Like, feel me? Like, just imagine your older brother beefing with your best friend older brother. They real like going at it, like, feel me? Like, and y'all know, bro, in the world we live in, bro, kids ain't safe, bro. If you know, if, like, say for example, somebody know they op little brother go to this school, bro, they might try to do something to his op little brother because they can't get to his op. Feel me? Like, nah, I don't see that, bro. I feel like most beefs, 90% of beefs carry over generations, bro. Especially if it's a real life gang beef. Like, if y'all really into it, they really ops, bro, it's gonna carry over every time, bro. Because it's still gonna be somebody alive around the new generation that is portraying you can't rock with them, you can't kick it with them, none of that. It's gonna keep, it's a repeating cycle, bro. It's a revolving door for sure.
Everyone is granted the respect to make their own decisions on who they're cool with and who they're not. Well, that's exactly the case for this video, when everyone involved was born no earlier than 1998. This is the new generation of Baton Rouge, so let's start off in 2014.
Let's get it, man.
At this time, all of the teenagers in North Baton Rouge were unified. Bankstown, Scotlandville, Zion City, and Glen Oaks teenagers all hung out together. However, this is Baton Rouge, so anything is bound to happen for no reason. And on March 24th, 2014, an altercation occurred between two groups. On one side was the Acres fam from Holiday Acres all the way on the north end of Baton Rouge. And on the other side was Jungle Music, a rap group from the Glen Oaks, Zion City area.
If you're from Baton Rouge, is Jungle Music like where Main Music from? Like, you know, it's M-U-Z-I-K. Main Music was M-U-Z-I-K. Is that his hood? Because you know he's from Baton Rouge. Feel me? If you from Baton Rouge, let me know in the comments.
Well, long story short, the rumors say that the two sides got into it after school. And because of this, one of the Acres teenagers was not happy. That would be a man named Nikedron Williams, also known as Scrappy. And after the situation, this guy wanted to send a message. March 28th, 2014. All of the Jungle Music teenagers are at a birthday party in the nearby town of Baker. The Jungle Music rappers are performing with their friends and everyone is having a great time. But that's when Scrappy gets word of the party, which is not too far from his residence. So he instantly hops in his car and heads up to Baker. He arrives at 12 p.m.
It's daytime. Oh!
Scrappy got 40 years after taking a plea deal.
40 years for 3 bodies is crazy. He won. That's crazy. So I'm gonna say he won. That's crazy.
This was the first incident where
crazy.
things got serious, and everyone in North Baton Rouge except Akers fam celebrated the life of Kimon and DeAndre. This meant that Bankstown and Scotlandville did too, which may not seem important, but eventually all of this will make sense. Another thing that will make sense is that DeAndre, also known as Crazy Trey, was best friends with Fredo Bang. But for now, let's focus on the fact that everyone was close friends for 6 years after this. However, all the friendship went to waste in 2020. Petty disagreements took place and everyone in Baton Rouge was instantly forced to choose a side. The former friends became enemies, so let me break it down. I'll simplify it by saying that there are two sides, the Vultures and the Bleedas. So let's start with the Bleedas.
Let's get it, man.
After Kimon passed away, his two younger brothers began rapping. They started a group called the Bleedas, and from there, everyone around them started using the name. The brothers go by Co-Bleeda and True Bleeda, and they're both from Glen Oaks. Then you have Zion City, who are located right next door. They're known as the 5400 Boys and are represented by TG Commas, who's the best rapper out of everyone. Then you have 5400 Dice along with 5400 Lucci. That's the Bleedas' presence in North Baton Rouge. But it doesn't end there, so here are their allies. Because Fredo Bang was friends with Crazy Trey, TBG are cool with the Bleedas side. You can often see them in each other's music videos. Well, TBG is located in South Baton Rouge around the Terrace Avenue area. Then also aligned with them you have 300. 300 consists of two neighborhoods, Mall City in North Baton Rouge and Gardier in South Baton Rouge. These are definitely two of the ugliest neighborhoods I've ever seen. Anyways, 300 is represented by the rappers Rel Bang and Taz 3Ds. And lastly, let's head all the way down the river to a small town called Convent, Louisiana. And here you have a section called 4Gs. They're represented by a rapper named 40 Glock U, and he's actually pretty hard. So that's the Bleedas side, and now let's cover the Vulture side.
Lord.
The Vultures are mainly located right across Highway 110 from the Bleedas. They have two neighborhoods known as Bankstown and Scotlandville. They're represented by the rappers You Know What It's Hittin' For Vay and You Know What It's Hittin' For Ka. And here's a picture of Vay with Kimon and the Bleedas in 2014. It's really wild that they were all once friends. Well, the Vultures' allies list is pretty long as well. First you have Sherwood, located east of North Baton Rouge.
If you're from Baton Rouge, I know a little bit of something. I know Sherwood Marty. I know. Yeah. I know a little something, man. If you're from Baton Rouge, you know what I'm talking about, man. Shout out Baton Rouge, man.
These guys go by Six to Crew, and their main rapper is B-Way Youngie, who happens to be the younger brother of YB. And because of that, the entire NBA 4K Trey side rolls with the Vultures. That includes NBA Ben 10, who also happens to be cousins with the Vultures rappers. And lastly, you have the small town of Plaquemine, located across the Mississippi River from Baton Rouge.
Bruh. Okay, now here's my question. How can you be 26 minutes away, bro? And it ain't like a city 26 minutes where you might be able to walk and cut it down or walk. And bro, it is the country. It is rural, bro. That is a real deal 26-minute, damn near 30-minute drive. How do you even get involved in a beef 30 minutes away? You have to take a road trip if you want to spin on the ops. If you want to go flip the op rip, you got to go take a road trip, bro. You got to go get gas. You got to go get snacks. Beefing 30 minutes away is crazy.
And they're represented by a rapper named P. Youngin. Everyone I just mentioned is as hard as they come, both in music and in real life. These are all people who you don't want to piss off whatsoever. There's nothing documented on how the rivalry actually started, but according to Reddit, it was boiling up for a couple of years. That meant that the friendships had fallen apart, but it wasn't serious enough to take action. However, since then, it has definitely progressed. With the two sides to the city, things are wild and out of control. The incidents take place all over the metro area. That means suburban areas, small towns, and freeways. And because of this, solving incidents is extremely difficult for local authorities. That also means that I'm not able to remotely scratch the surface, but here is what BRPD knows. It all started with a Vultures rapper named You Know What It's Hittin' For Ka. His real name is Malika, and he has a reputation of being the ladies' man of Baton Rouge for obvious reasons. But don't be deceived by—
What do you mean for obvious reasons? I mean, well, okay.
by his good looks, because Malika—
No, wait. Nah, I don't get it. Did y'all? Yo. Hey, yo.
His name is Malika, and he has a reputation of being the ladies' man of Baton Rouge for obvious reasons. But don't be deceived by his good looks.
Yo! Yo! He's wildin', Mo. He's wildin'.
Because Malika is nothing to play with. In fact, in 2020, he went down for the passing of South Baton Rouge rapper BME Beezy. It turns out that Malika was allegedly caught with the baby mother and justifiably defended himself. To this day, they don't know whether he was set up by her or if the man was upset of him being with his girl. But all of that is just speculation. Either way, after weeks of investigating, his charges were all dropped. But unfortunately, the same situation would possibly repeat itself once again. October 25th, 2021.
Them women, man. I tell y'all every time.
At the Holiday Inn Motel in Mid-City. What he's doing there, we can all make an assumption. Well, this is a nicer part of town where you can kind of lay low and take a deep breath. So after a long night, he checks out of the hotel and heads to his car. But that's when a man approaches. Bang! How they knew his location is very sketchy because that's not a typical place to be. Someone would have to give you the drop. Either way, this was the first major loss for the Vultures, and it definitely took the rivalry to new heights. However, this wouldn't be the end for them. October 28th, 2021. NBA Ben 10's right-hand man Mu Gotti is in his Sherwood Forest neighborhood, and that's when a car pulls up to West Catalpa Street. Bam! At first glance, this was attributed to the Bleedas, but according to Baton Rouge Reddit, that's completely wrong. None of this makes sense and I won't even try to figure it out. Either way, just 2 days later, the Vulture side would take another loss. December 2nd, 2021. NBA Ben 10 and his cousin Marvin, also known as Jug, are driving up I-10 from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. Well, as they pass the town of Prairieville, a car pulls up beside them. Bang! This loss devastated the NBA and Vulture side, and unfortunately the Bleedas would make all kinds of songs about it and make Instagram posts as well. However, this wouldn't pan out well for them. But first, let me explain this. Baton Rouge is a small city and there is barely anything to do. The city has one mall that people go to, and other than that, maybe there's a party on a Friday or Saturday. The point is that it's really easy to run into people, so if you have beef, it's not smart to be out and about. And that takes us to February 25th, 2022. Rappers True Bleeda and Co Bleeda are at the Mall of Louisiana, and at this point True Bleeda is doing numbers, most likely on his way to national stardom. So when he walks through the mall, everyone notices him. Well, after doing some shopping, True Bleeda and his friend Clifton Lindsay leave the mall. They get in their 2012 Chevy Malibu and head down Bluebonnet Boulevard, but that's when a car approaches. Bam! This was a major deal in Louisiana because True Bleeda was on the verge of making it big. So for now, his brother Co Bleeda and Real Bleeda are carrying his legacy. In fact, together, all three rappers TG, Co, and Real are all potential stars if they play their cards right. Go check out a song called Go Back Inside by TG, Fire. Well, that takes us to April 14th, 2022. A man nicknamed Dubug from Bankstown goes down for what happened at the mall. You can see him in pictures with You Know What It's Hittin' For Ka. However, after lack of evidence, Dubug was released. This is just a small fraction of what's going on between the Vultures and Bleedas. That's because I only included the public information that anyone can find online. All of these incidents are publicly documented, along with the 2 takedowns of 5400 boys in Bankstown. But in reality, this is going down all over the Baton Rouge area. Now it's to the point where neutral rappers are being forced to take a side, even if they don't want to. For example, a rapper named HD for President blew up with the hit song. And of course, the local guys made a post about how he needs to choose a side. You can't even exist anymore without choosing sides in things that have nothing to do with you. On top of this, the affiliations cover far more than Baton Rouge.
That's the only thing I don't get is how can you beef with another city, bro? Like seriously beef though. Like, food, that's a 30-minute drive to the ops hood. That's crazy. So you gotta go do something illegal and then drive 30 minutes back to the crib? That's insane, Mo. But nah, that's a good video, bro. Like I said, if you don't know, I did a video on True Bleeda, bro. It will be, it's at the beginning of the video, like I said, bro. Check that right now. It's fire, bro. Baton Rouge crazy too. That's one of them places that is so small and nothing really go on, and it's so overshadowed by NBA Youngboy and Fredo Bang's beef that it don't really get covered, bro. You feel me? It's some talent out there, bro. Some good people out there. I know a couple good people from Baton Rouge, bro. You did? But with that being said, man, it's Ty Fetty with the Fetty, man. I appreciate everybody who appreciate me. I'm going to keep going for y'all. I love all y'all, bro. Make sure y'all stay smart, man. Stay dangerous. And I'm going to catch y'all next time. I'm gone.